So here I've got my chart and it's just on my screen. So you'll notice that when I first put the chart up, there was a side panel that was up and I've clicked somewhere else on my screen and now it's gone. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and double click on my chart and it will bring back the chart editor um, menus, I guess you could say. So I'm just going to go ahead and take a look at some of the options. Okay. So maybe my titles, I'm not sure if I like them right now. I could just go on here and if I wanted to edit any of them, I could do that. I can also center my title so I think it looks better in the middle. So those are the types of things that you can do. It's got an auto text color. If I want to make it a little bit more flashy, I can add colors to it. Um, I can change the font size, so make that look a little bit bigger. And there's all sorts of different things that I can do. Um, I can also go and look at the labels for the horizontal axis. And this is where if your scales are off, so it's showing you a bunch of data that you don't need. So for example, nobody got marks too much below 40, but maybe your scale somehow started at 0. So you'll see if I put 0 here on my x-axis, that your chart could have started looking like that. But they got rid of that space because all it does is push all your data. So if I get rid of this and then just leave it on auto, that's probably better. So sometimes it works really well. Like this chart turned out great. I can see my data and it takes up how you can tell your scales worked really well is if your data goes pretty close to both axes and there's not a lot of extra space on there with no data. So if I put 200 as my maximum value, so this is what I mean. There's a whole bunch of space here and there are no dots in there. So it's not really useful to have that space even showing. So I'm going to try and just only show where I've got data. Okay, so there are all sorts of different options in here. If I go into series, I can look in here. There's all sorts of things. I can put a trend line in, and that's one of the things that we practiced last time. So if I add my trend line, you can see the general trend of the data. And by looking at this one, I've got a line that starts a little bit up high and it goes down. It seems to follow a fairly linear pattern. So we can change the line color. There's all sorts of customization features there. So hopefully that helps you to understand about how to go in and edit some certain things. You can play around with some of those things and then make sure your chart looks the way you like. I'm going to go in and finalize the fonts and the layout, and I might change my dot colors just for some fun. And then I'm going to basically, the last step is to, how do you copy this chart? You just click these 3 little dots and click copy chart. And you're going to take that back to your doc where the assignment is, and you're going to paste it. And that's it. You can resize it once it's there. Thanks for watching.